Let us consider the problem of computing the mode for this data. This is actually a continuous series. Let us first form a grouping table. The frequency column is identified as the first column in the grouping table. In the second column, you should group the values in twos. In the third column, you should group the values in twos, leaving the first value of the first column. Okay, leave the first value, group the values in twos. Add, here again add 10 plus 20 is 30. You don't have two values here, leave it. So grouping the values for two in twos should be done for 2 times. Now the group the values in threes and write the total at the center. Right? 10, 20, 30. The total should be written at the center. Then again group the values in threes, 50. Right at the center. This line is important. It will be very much useful for us to form the analysis table. Right? In fifth column, leave the first value and then group the values in threes. For these three values, this is the center. This line is important. 30. Then you don't have three values, leave it. In sixth column, leave the first two values and group the values in threes. The total is 40. Okay. See, you should first group the values in twos, calculate the total and write the answer at the center. Calculate the total, write at the center. Calculate the total, display at the center, and at the same time draw this line. Okay, fine. Now we shall frame the analysis table. Class intervals are 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 75, 75 to 100, 100 to 125, 125 to 150. Display it at the topmost row. And column number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Always it is 6. Okay, whatever be the number of data, it is always 6. Now in the grouping table, the maximum value in the first column is 20. There is a tie. You have two 20s. You should highlight both the values. The maximum value in the second column is 40. The maximum value in the third column is 30. The maximum in the fourth is 50. In fifth, you have only one value and that is identified as the maximum value. Okay, also in sixth. See, in the first column, the maximum value is 20. 20 corresponds to this class and this 20 corresponds to this class. So, in the first column, put tally mark corresponding to those two classes. In the second column, the maximum value is 40. This line says that you got this 40 by adding the number above it and a number below it. The corresponding classes are 100 to 125 and 125 to 150. In the third column, maximum value is 30. And this line says that you got it by adding these two numbers. The corresponding frequency, the class intervals are 75 to 100 and 100 to 150. So in the third column, put a tally mark against 75 to 100 and 100 to 125. In fourth column, the maximum value is 50. This line corresponds to a number. it means that it is not between these two, any two numbers. It corresponds to a number. It means that you got this 50 by adding the number corresponding to it, a number above it, and the number below it. So you got it by adding three numbers. That is the implication of this line. The corresponding classes are 75 to 100, 100 to 125, and 125 to 150. In the fifth column, 30 is highlighted and this line is corresponding to this 10. It says that you got this 30 by adding these three numbers. The number corresponding to the line, a number above it, and the number below it. So the corresponding classes are 25 to 50, 50 to 75, and 75 to 100. And in the last column, the maximum value is 40. It corresponds to 10. It means that you got this 40 by adding this 10, the number above 10, and the number below 10. So this is how you got this 40. The corresponding classes are 50 to 75, 75 to 100, 100 to 125. Now you calculate the total of the tally marks, right? There is nothing in the first column, 1 in the second column, 2 tally marks in the third column. Here it is 4, here it is 5, and here it is 3. The maximum value is 5. It means that this is your model class. 100 to 125 is the model class. So let us write 100 to 125 is the model class. The lower limit of this class is 100. Now in this table, highlight this 100 to 125 and the frequency of pre-model class is 10. Okay, this is the frequency of pre-model class, that is F0. And the frequency of model class is 20. The frequency of post-model class is 20. The frequency of the class succeeding to the model class is F2. So this is F0, this is F1, and this is F2. Okay, fine. Now you compute delta 1, F1 minus modulus of F1 minus F0. That is 20 minus 10, which is 10. And delta 2, modulus of F1 minus F2, which is 20 minus 20, it has become 0. Now let us compute mode as L plus delta 1 by delta 1 plus delta 2 into I. That is, what is your L here and what is your I? The model class is 100 to 125. The difference between upper limit and lower limit in this class is 25. Okay. So L is 100, delta 1 is 10, delta 1 is 10, delta 2 is 0, into I is 25. So your answer is 125. So 125 is the model